Hey guys, welcome back to the Campers. I'm Nick. On this episode, we're going to be going over winterizing our trailer and utilizing the Camco Pump Converter Winterizer Kit. I'm going to go over all the different steps that we go through with our trailer, and there are a couple steps that seem to be commonly forgotten, and if you have harsh, low temperatures in the winter like we can have, you're gonna really regret it when it comes time for spring and you're ready to put water through your system. Those two things I'll get to in just a moment, but let's start with the basics. The very first thing that I like to do when I'm winterizing the trailer is I bypass the hot water tank. On the back of your hot water tank, you'll have some kind of valve of a different shape, size, and color. You want to flip that valve because we're going to be pumping RV marine antifreeze through the lines, and you don't want that nasty stuff getting into your hot water tank. Now, I'd show you ours, but ours is in such a crazy location, it'd require me climbing into our front basement storage, and yeah, my shoulders barely fit through that. So, check out the back of your hot water tank, turn that little valve. The next thing I do is I find my low drain point hoses here. Kind of self-explanatory. Red is your hot water line that runs through your entire trailer. Blue is your cold water line that runs through your trailer to faucets, shower, toilet, everything. So I'm just gonna start with my red here. I'm gonna unscrew this guy. And let it run out. And actually, I'm gonna go inside the trailer and open my faucets. I maybe should have done that first just to save me a little time. The reason I'm going to open the faucets is just to let gravity be able to do its job with, I guess you'd say, suction or whatever. Okay, let's go open those faucets and we'll see if it makes a difference. Okay, our faucets are open, and I think pretty much every RV I've ever seen has a shower head on a hose. So something I really like to do is take it down, and I bring it all the way to the bottom. You'll see some water kind of coming out. You don't want that to freeze out. Okay, so open all my faucets, and now my low point drains have stopped dripping, stopped running. So I'll just go ahead and put my caps back on, because here in a moment we're going to be running antifreeze through, and of course we don't want it to just pour it out on the ground. So let me get these guys going and we'll hit the next step. Okay, so your next step, if you don't already know where your water pump is, you're going to need to locate that. It's going to be really important, especially if you're going to use this Camco Winterizing Kit. I wasn't sure where ours was when we first got this trailer, so I just turned it on for a split second and listened for the sound, and ours turns out to be here on an end table by the sofa. So that Camco Pump Converter Winterizer Kit, basically it is this part here, this black bit, this brass bit, and then there's a hose that will connect here. I'll show you in a moment. So if you see here, this hose that's connected to all of that and goes into the pump, this hose goes down into your freshwater holding tank. So we don't want to put any antifreeze in that freshwater holding tank, because then we're going to have to deal with cleaning all that out when it comes springtime. So this little kit from Camco, right now it's set to the switches, or the valve is turned to suck water out of the freshwater tank. So we can just turn that, and now it's going to be pointing at this little brass tip here. So I'm going to unscrew the little black tip that I showed you here on our water pump. And then this hose that comes with the kit, this little end here is what will be screwing on to that little brass tip that I showed you on the pump. So let's go ahead and do that. The point of the little hose is to put the tip of the hose, the end that we're not screwing on here, down in the jug of your antifreeze. Be careful that you don't, cross thread. The tip of the hose is just plastic. So I'm going to get that on there. Let's snug it down decently. Now, out of paranoia, I like to take a towel and kind of put it underneath here in case I get a dribble or something like that. So, a little bit of a recap. This white hose that you see going here, that pumps water out of your freshwater tank down and into your pump. And then your pump's going to feed it through all these other hoses you might see in the back there to feed your sinks, your toilet, shower, everything like that. So the valve right now is pointing across this little point here. So that means the water is going to be running from your tank straight into your pump. Well, we're going to point it to where we want it to come through the hose. So again, that's going to close off the brain fart. It's going to close off the ability for the pump to pull water from the fresh water tank. And now it's set to pull it out of this hose here. Just a reminder before we move on to the next step, go back to all your faucets, make sure everything is closed, everything is turned off, shower, sink, outdoor shower, everything's off. Because now we're going to want to build pressure with our water pump. And these jugs of antifreeze are going to act kind of as our freshwater holding tank. So let me get that set up. I'm going to put my towel down and we'll get going and show you what this looks like. So I've got my jug ready. I've got my towel underneath the valve there of the water pump. Just out of, precaution, being paranoid. I don't want any leaks, dribbling down, doing anything to our trailer. Okay, so here's the hose that's supplied with the kit. I'm just going to shove it on down in there best I can. Now I'm going to tell you, this hose comes wound up so tight that the first year I had to use this, it was a little difficult to get the hose all the way to the bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and fire up our pump, and we'll see how this goes. So I've got David on standby. He's going to go ahead and hit the pump switch for me so I can be over here at the pump and kind of show you guys what's going on. Okay, bypass switch or valve is turned. The hose is down into a jug of SuperTech RV and Marine antifreeze. David, why don't you go ahead and hit that pump switch for us, and we're going to watch the antifreeze go through this hose. I don't know if you can hear our pump, it's pretty quiet. It's going to build pressure and then stop. Okay, the pump just stopped. And it looks like, hang on, I've got a little light here trying to light everything up. It looks like it pulled the antifreeze down to about there. So our pump is now primed, so we can go ahead and go over to some faucets and turn them on and start getting this antifreeze through all of our lines. I've always been told start at the furthest waterworks away from your pump, which is our toilet. So you'll see a little bit of water, and now here comes the pink antifreeze. And I'm going to go ahead and run quite a bit in there because I want some of that antifreeze to get down in my black holding tank for any residual water that may be in there to, not freeze and bust anything. That's probably a little enough for right now. I can hear the pump priming out of the jug of antifreeze. So now I'm going to go on over here to the next faucet and do that one. But before you go to that next faucet, check your jug of Freon, make sure you aren't running out, make sure that your hose is all the way down into the bottom of the jug and still pumping Freon into the pump. If your pump runs dry for too long, you can burn your pump out. You don't want to do that. So it's really helpful if you have a helper to kind of watch the jug, hit the switch, or run the faucets, however you guys are most comfortable doing it. Just make sure that your pump doesn't run dry. Okay guys, now it's time for the shower. I was trying to kind of hold it right at the at the drain, so my cleanup in the bottom of the shower isn't so bad. So this is getting Freon or antifreeze through the shower lines, the shower hose, and the trap. So that was cold. You really only need to run it long enough until you see pink. So here goes hot. I'm going to turn it on a little more. And we've got pink. I didn't really turn it on a whole lot. That's plenty. And that should have been plenty of antifreeze to take care of the shower trap. Okay, so that's it for the bathroom. Our bathroom's in the front of the trailer. That's why I started at the bathroom. It's the furthest away from our water pump. So now let's go and move into the kitchen. So now kitchen sink. Turn on cold. I'm going to flip over, turn on hot. And I'm just going to run enough to where pink is coming out of my faucet. And there's enough into the trap to where the trap doesn't freeze. And there you go, guys. There's real life dirty sink. After I've done all my winterizing, I go through and I clean the sink, I clean the shower, I clean the bathroom sink. Okay, so that's it for the kitchen sink. Okay, so we've got the bathroom done, we've got the kitchen done. If you have an outdoor kitchen that has a sink, you need to go through the same process. Turn on your cold water for a while till it's pink, turn on your hot till it's pink, and run enough of that to where your trap has an antifreeze in it. Our outdoor kitchen does not have a sink, so I don't have to worry about that. But there are two more things that we do need to worry about that people seem to really forget about. One of those more than the other. Let's go outside, and I'm going to show you what that's about. Two things people seem to totally forget all about. Their outdoor shower. Super common, people don't winterize that. And when spring comes along, they go to put water in the trailer for the first time. They've got a break. Their RV is going to the dealer for a pricey little repair. Another thing that people forget about, if your trailer is equipped with it, is your black tank flush. So what I like to do here is I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I've got my little curly hose that came with the RV. I have it plugged into my outdoor kitchen, and then it runs into my black tank flush. So just like all the other faucets inside the trailer, I'm going to start with cold. I'm going to let that run a little bit. And the pump is just right on the other side of this. So it has not very far to travel. Okay, cold is good. I'm going to turn that off. Now I'm going to turn on hot. Let that run for a minute. And that ought to be good. So not only did I winterize my outdoor shower and my black tank flush, but I've even winterized my garden hose. So there you have it, guys. That's pretty much it. Winterizing is that simple. I know a lot of people can be a little intimidated by winterizing their own RV, but it's seriously that simple. Especially with that Camco pump converter winterizer kit. That thing makes it so simple, so easy. I'm not getting anything into my freshwater holding tank. That was really one of the best accessories we've gotten for a new trailer. I believe I found that on Amazon for like 10 to 15 bucks too, so it's super cheap. One more little step that I like to do is we have two gray holding tanks and one black tank. So I'll go out and just open each one just for a hot second and close it. What I'm doing there is getting antifreeze into the seals of those valves and letting just a little bit down behind the main cap where you hook up your stinky slinky hose. Just remember, if you do that, that when spring comes, whenever you come to camp again and you're going to hook up your hose, that you will have just a little bit of the antifreeze spill out from behind that main cover cap. So when your camping season starts back up, or the season when you're going to start using your water again, it is really simple to get all this antifreeze back out of your lines and your faucets. First thing you're going to want to do is go back over to your water pump and flip that little valve back over that I showed you, the valve that comes with the Camco Winterizing Kit. That is going to turn off the little hose that you put into the Freon. You can then fill your holding tank and let your pump run that way, which I recommend because your pump actually has antifreeze in it currently also. So put some water in your holding tank, let your pump get clean water through it. Run every sink, every faucet, and your toilet, every waterworks system your trailer has until you see no more pink and it's totally clear. Now, personally, we don't use our waterworks for cooking or drinking, no kind of personal consumption. If you do, I would recommend running your trailer probably 3 weekends worth of using your water before you have, started cooking with it or anything. That's just my own personal paranoia. If you have any comments or anything or questions on any of that, hit me up. If you have any information for me on that, please hit me up. I'd like to know. Now, once your lines seem like they're running clean again, there's no more pink, at that point, go over and turn on the valve on the back of your hot water tank. Do not turn that valve on until all your lines are running clean. You do not want that antifreeze getting into your hot water tank. And then once it's all clean and you've flipped over to your hot water tank, you're good to go. You're set. You're de-winterized. And we'll probably do a video on de-winterizing too. Pretty much just reverse steps of what we've just done today. Besides the Camco Winterizing Kit making it so simple to winterize, one of the things I love about that is here in our part of the country in northeastern Oklahoma, we will have freezing crazy temperatures and then we'll jump back into the 60s for a while. We like camping year round no matter the temperatures, but when it's freezing we don't necessarily always use the water. Sometimes we do, but this Camco kit makes it really simple, really easy to de-winterize just for a weekend, and then at the end of that trip winterize again. Like I mentioned, the antifreeze stuff is cheap. Those jugs are about $2, 50 cents out your local Walmart. So it's not like it's an expense to de-winterize and winterize again after a quick little trip if you're going somewhere and you want to use the water. So yeah, go check out Amazon, the Camco, what did I call it? The water pump conversion winterizing kit. I think I got that right. So until next time, guys, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching our videos. If you're commenting, we appreciate that. We love the comments. We love responding with you guys and chit-chatting a little. And check out our Instagram. I'm actually going to get it right this time. It is Decampers OK. That's for sure. I'm always getting it wrong, but I checked it. I'm for sure correct. It is Decampers OK on Instagram. Go check us out there. Go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe. We really appreciate that. We are, I think, 2 or 3 people from hitting that 250 subscriber mark. Small beans, but each one really counts to us. So until the next episode, guys, safe travels, happy RVing. We'll see you around.